Hello, welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony, and this show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that this guy seems to step on. Today is Tuesday. Real quick, if you're brand new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you don't know, we have a school, an online school academy called A VO's Journey Elite Academy, and that's where we train new as well as veteran voice actors how to grow their voiceover businesses. Plus, in that, we have an exclusive community that is positive, supportive, absolutely incredible. And, it's got so much, so many people there that want to help. It's really an amazing place to be. And I highly recommend, that you join the Academy just for that, let alone all the other teaching and training in our live classes that we do. So anyways, just check out the link below. You get 50% off the first month for giving us a shot. So we'd love to have you. Today we're going to talk about a way to actually train yourself in voice acting, a way to practice. I think one of the biggest challenges for actors throughout time, and at least my time as, acting on stage and so forth, my whole life has been, how do you practice by yourself? And the funny thing is, the very nature of voice acting is by ourselves. But actors in general, it's very challenging, and it's not commonplace to practice by yourself other than learning or memorizing a monologue. But generally speaking, when you go to acting classes and you go to work with people, you work with other people, right? Because the old saying, acting is reacting, is very true. However, for us, we don't perform in that way. We perform in a solitary, I was going to say confinement, which is true as well. But, in a situation by ourselves. That's how we act. So we need to look at, how do we train ourselves by ourselves? How do we practice? So a famous acting teacher, Uta Hagen, yes, that's her name, Uta Hagen, she actually devised a plan, a way that she would train herself by herself. And, now this was for stage actors, so it was a very physical type of practice. But the point is it could be done by yourself. It was supposed to be done while you were alone. And the idea of what she came up with was creating scenarios where you had to repeat and go through those scenarios on purpose, as opposed to you doing it just as improving life as you were going from, one place to another. This was a way to practice. Like, for example, cleaning up your room, right? You would practice by yourself cleaning up your room. The idea of finding a natural way to do semi-scripted activities. For us, though, I think there is something that we can do that's similar to that. Okay. And to practice by ourselves as voice actors, there are, the challenges that we have to overcome in that practicing is, how do we do, how do we go about doing a voiceover and coming up with a character in a few seconds? Because when we get the voiceover job or we get the work, we don't have time to practice. Sure, we could practice for a few moments, saying the lines over and over again, if it's a short piece. Heaven forbid if it's a longer piece, like a book or something. We don't have time. We don't have time to discover the character or the characteristics that we find, in ourselves and that we can bring out for the characters that we're playing. We don't have that. And a lot of work we do is commercial in nature anyways. So it's a very different style of acting. So what I like to use and what I like to teach is this idea of creating archetypes. And the cool thing about this is you can practice this as well. So basically, when I say an archetype, I'm really talking about you creating a character, a list of characters. And don't think of characters so much as that, like it's a over-the-top caricature. But characters being, it could be your, conversational character, right? It could be your authoritative character, right? Think of characters in the sense of types of deliveries. And I call them like archetypes because we can actually add even more depth to that character. Now, why do this? Because from a practicing standpoint, we can take scripts on our own and we can work on creating a specific type of character. So let's say we want to create 3 to 5 different characters, right? We want to create a conversational type of character. We want to create an authoritative type of character, like a professor, a teacher. Or we want to create a seductive or intimate type of character, enticing. All right. We want to create a comedian type of character. We are going to then take those tones, all right, and turn them into archetype styles. We can practice that by taking particular scripts and working on those deliveries so that when the time comes for us to get a job, we get that job, we look at the instructions, and we decide what character we are going to bring. And from the practice that we had, we are going to be able to deliver that. Now, if you are in that place where you're like, okay, well, that sounds great, but how do I even know what, to sound like a comedian? Or how do I know how to sound like an authoritative person or a conversational type of read? And right, this is a question. And the first thing you realize is, okay, well, I need to identify what I sound like. What is in my bag of tricks currently? You know what I mean? And the first thing that comes to mind is, for starters, stop thinking that you don't know what these are. You do know what they are, right? You know what it means to be authoritative. You know what it means to have a conversation. The key here is for you to start recording yourself on your own, practicing this, okay? And getting some feedback also helps on your practice. But here's a little tip, because this is supposed to be able to be by yourself. You need to get used to listening to other people who are, in your mind, pulling that off. And I always thought, and it's always said too, that one of the best ways to learn is by watching or listening, especially as an actor. In the case of the stage or whatever we watch, in the case of what we do, we listen. Okay, so a great way to do this is listening to other people who, in your mind, are delivering a conversational read, who are delivering an authoritative read, who are delivering something inspirational, who are delivering something seductive or intimate, who are delivering something comedic, funny, right? Listen to these, imitate, not impersonate, but imitate that cadence, that style. Start to practice it so you can develop your own. Okay, so you are imitating, acting is imitating as well, right? We're imitating real life, and we are going to take those and practice imitating the cadence, the feel, the style. You record yourself, listen back to it. Then when you're ready, you can be a part of a group. You can get feedback from coaches, from a supportive group. All right, like Avio's Journey Elite Academy or wherever. Okay, but you want to have that practice down, those archetypes, those characters of those tones, those styles. And that's how you can go about practicing it. Getting scripts, putting one thing, I'm going to practice conversational voice acting. I've listened to a bunch of people that are doing conversational styles. All right, I've identified a few things that I believe, like shortening my words, speeding up a tad bit, not doing such wildly pitch variatives, all right? Things like that. There are, right? And I'm going to practice it, and I'm going to try it out. All right, now I'm going to try out to practice authoritative. I know that these are very declarative type sentences. I end down at the end of a sentence, okay? It usually follows a specific pattern. I start up and I end down. I do not end in a question. I speak clearly. I don't use wild movements in my pitch because that's not a declarative statement. you could start to practice these types of things by identifying too what the little attributes and intricacies, the nuances in each one of those delivery styles. Okay. I hope that this helps. And I hope this gives you an idea of, okay, I want to create 3 different styles that I offer. And think of it as offerings. I'm gonna offer 3 different styles, 3 different voice styles. I mean, you can keep this in head. And this is also kind of a cool way to market yourself too down the road. But right now you're just using this internally. And I want to make sure that these 3 styles are distinctive. They are, they are not the same, so that I can go through and change that depending on what voiceover I get. The more styles you can get, of course, the more marketable you'll be. But I hope this helps today and gets you thinking about how you could practice on your own, okay? And how you can work towards, creating different voice styles right there in your own studio. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have so much training. We have script workouts every week, live classes every single week. Gabby Nistico, Kat Siggers, myself, so many amazing coaches and things for you guys. And the heart of it is our community. So we'd love to have you. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great Tuesday. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.